Hey, what's up, stream keepers, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's topic, I would like to talk to you guys about something different, something about the stream industry, what to expect. So in this, I'm actually trying to create a new series where it starts off the topic is all about what to expect in terms of what are you going to look forward to in terms of the stream hobby. So in today's episode, I wanted to talk to you guys, what to expect in terms of the stream industry, and I would like to talk to you guys on the high level of the ins and outs of how does the stream actually started and why it is done how it's done, right? So before we go into the topic itself today, I really wanted to reach out to you guys and thank you guys sincerely for all the encouragement that you guys have been giving me for me to actually share with you all this content. And I realized that although it is very common or very frequently discussed among hobbies, however, there's not much of this content that is actually put out for the rest of the stream hobbies to actually or stream breeders to actually understand from a different perspective. So today's topic is about the stream industry, and I have classified them in three broad categories. So the breeders, the sellers, and the hobbies, right? And then we will then discuss about how the stream actually move from one to the other and then finally into your tank. So in this episode is slightly different. It's not really talking about the stream itself, but also the background information, the background of all these moving parts, and how are the streams actually being transported, and how are the streams actually being moved from one to the other, and the quality, the stability of the streams are all in this whole end-to-end process and all the networks and stuff like that. So in these three broad categories, I really wanted to start off with the breeders. The breeders, we can actually think about it as five broad categories. So the five broad categories actually starts with there's no rule of order. So there are different type of breeders. There are actually exclusive breeders, there are non-exclusive breeders, and then we have the hobbies, like everybody hobbies, and then of course the seller's own facility, and then of course we have the very last one, which I term them as consolidators. They are some of them are actually breeders, but they actually do consolidate more and then put it together. So these are the five types of breeders that I actually categorize them. Of course, I may have not thought of others, but I think these five are the generic makeup of where the streams actually come from, regardless of the location. So most of this stream actually come from Taiwan, so it originates from Taiwan. However, when we trace back the history of where these streams actually originated and where it actually started to become more and more popular, is actually from Japan. uh, and then after that the Taiwanese actually started to mass breed them and started to selectively breed them, and from there there's some mutated ones, and then that and all the streams started to come out, all the types of different colors and patterns. So with that five different types of breeders, I actually wanted to talk a little bit on the exclusive breeders. So exclusive breeders, why do we have exclusive breeders? So for example, the exclusive breeders actually they are normally um, breeders that actually only breed streams for the main exclusive sellers. Like for example, if you have a exclusive seller, which means they are maybe I wouldn't name names here, but I would just say that a Taiwan breeder, right? So a Taiwan breeder. So under the Taiwan breeder, we actually call exclusive breeders below them. They actually help the exclusive sellers that actually breed the streams, because one person, you cannot have too many things, right? With the export capacity that they are actually doing, it actually has a lot of volume, right? So one person is not sufficient in terms of the export capacity. So if let's say for example every month you're supposed to export 10,000 streams, so in a year you are supposed to export 120,000 streams, and you would probably need a huge facility to have different type of streams spread out to meet that demand, and that is only maybe to one seller in the other country, right? So if you have multiple sellers in multiple countries, then your facility, your exclusive breeders will have to have a lot more tanks than that. So these exclusive breeders solely only breed streams for the exclusive sellers. It means that the exclusive breeders do not sell the streams to other people other than the seller itself. So it is like there is really no contract, right? So in that sense, it's more like a trust thing, and over the years, that trust is being built up, and usually these exclusive breeders, they do have a day job, and then on the side, this is their side hustle where they help to breed stream. They like streams, they help to breed streams, and then they sell to the exclusive sellers. So that is where you are able to the exclusive sellers is able to continue to maintain that kind of stability and quality over the period of time, because the exclusive breeders actually uses the same methodology as the exclusive sellers. So the exclusive sellers, they themselves also breed, however they do not breed in huge capacity, or they have different facilities to actually breed them. So for example, if a Taiwanese seller actually do have maybe 60 to 100 tanks, right? And then they will only breed some of those really difficult ones, which they have to really take good care of it, and they really have to do a lot of careful selection, and then the rest of the streams, like the black King Kong, the red King Kong, and some of those mass volume type of streams, those are usually being bred by the exclusive breeders. So all in all, the network of these sellers actually, it also varies between sellers to sellers. Some sellers, which are the non-exclusive one, which I will discuss next, has a separate way of doing things, but the exclusive sellers actually work mostly on the exclusive breeders, their own facilities, and then they also do some co-op as well. So co-op is like, for example, two different sellers, who are very who has a name for themselves, right? And they do like cooperation, co-op, and things like that. So they also they are able to actually get the streams from those sellers as well. And then the very last one, at usually very rarely, the exclusive sellers actually do take and try to take some of the streams from somewhere else, which are not within their scope. However, this is really rare, and one of the things why they are doing this is because in terms of exclusivity, is that for every batch of the stream, the batches don't change in terms of the quality. Like for example, if you have noticed, if let's say you go to a stream shop, or you have a stream import, and then you see that, for example, if you order 300 400 PRL or deep blue boats, usually in normal cases, an exclusive seller will normally have all the PRL or the blue boats, deep blue boats, having that same kind of looks and color and quality, versus those from a non-exclusive seller. So this whole part about exclusive seller is that, and I will have at the end of the video, I will do a summary of the differences between an exclusive seller and a non-exclusive seller. What are some of the things that we actually look at, right? So now I'm going to move on to the non-exclusive sellers, right? So we have the exclusive sellers here, and then we have the non-exclusive sellers. So what is the non-exclusive sellers? So these sellers generally, they do not really work with an exclusive breeder. So for example, non-exclusive sellers can actually have their own breeding facility, which is very common. They also will have They also work maybe co-op with some of the hobbies to purchase the streams. And then they have non-exclusive breeders. They will source for different type of streams from different places depending on the price point. And then they also work with consolidators. So normally the non-exclusive sellers, they are more or less like a consolidator where they try to get different streams from various places, and in these cases, when, let's say for example, in the previous example, for example, that 300 400 PRL or deep blue boats, you can actually see that there are some differences in the batches. Like for example, if you order 300 and then you put all in a tank, you can actually see that there's actually one batch of them that looks particularly like that, and then another batch particular like another type. The variations of the blue, like one group is that blue and then the other group is another type of blue. So there's sometimes when that happens, you can actually tell that they actually do consolidate because of price point. They wanted it to be at the cheapest possible way. So they will then go out and source for streams that are at that price point, right? So I wouldn't say the quality. I would say that the there is no uh, there is no really a similarity, or in that batch of streams. So different batches will have different type of streams, and it is perfectly fine if you are looking at it as a hobby standpoint, and you don't really care about lineage, you don't really care about where the stream comes from. You also don't really care about, you just wanted to enjoy the hobby. Maybe you want to put it inside a planted tank, or what, you want to have a low costing. You don't even want to breed them, or even if they breed, then it's a bonus for you. So it targets different type of customer segment. So the non-exclusive sellers usually matches on is about the price point. So between the exclusive sellers and the non-exclusive sellers, so how does the process actually work, right? So in this graph, you can actually see that, for example, the own breeding facility for the exclusive sellers, the exclusive breeders for the exclusive sellers as well, and then the co-op. You can actually see that, how these streams actually move from one to the other. So for example, on the left side, the own breeding facility, the sellers actually, they themselves have a facility that they breed the streams, and then they will then also then sell the streams. For those streams that that they would like to actually mass breed, but they do not, but which are not very popular, and then they will ask their exclusive breeders to actually help breed them, and then when there's a need for those streams, they can actually get it from the exclusive breeders. So then the streams will move to the exclusive sellers. This is the same for co-op, because not everybody will have the streams that the customer actually look at. So the co-op way of doing it is that when two big brands come together, they want to do a cooperation in terms of their strength, because every breeders have their own strength, and the exclusive sellers will then do a co-op with that strong brand seller, and then they will start to probably just take one or two types of streams from them, and then help to sell them. So that's for exclusive sellers. But for non-exclusive sellers, like I've mentioned earlier, is that you can actually see that from this chart, it actually depends on the availability and of course the price point. So more or less, they will source for the cheapest available stream, and then it depends on how the sellers actually market it. The stream source, sometimes they are not it comes from different places. I wouldn't say it's not stable, it is stable. So it's just different type of sourcing, and then you will get the streams. However, if you wanted to do like selective breeding, you wanted to know the lineage, then of course then you will have to ask the non-exclusive sellers, where does this lineage come from, and then of course there will be a risk that they wouldn't know, or they would probably just say that it's from XYZ, and then you have to take a pinch of salt, because you will have to consider whether to believe them or not, because at the end of the day, consolidators actually do consolidate from exclusive sellers as well. Um, However, the price point then will not be low, and one of the reasons is because uh, normally if you go direct to exclusive sellers, then of course the price point will be much better than going through a consolidator, who then after that gets from the exclusive seller. So now we have discussed, the exclusive sellers and the non-exclusive sellers. So what is you know what is the difference between both of them? And I would like to share with you this chart. Is not exhaustive. We'll start off with these exclusive sellers. These exclusive sellers actually, like I've mentioned, is they have stable quality all the time because they themselves breed it, and their exclusive breeders follow the same methodology as the sellers breeding setup, the breeding process, and how it's being selected. So everything, is well rounded. There is really not much of a deviation in terms of the breeding process for those exclusive sellers and breeders. They are also able to allocate better streams. For example, if you constantly get from a certain source, and then over a period of time they see that they have some good streams that they have bred out, and then you get the first right of refusal to actually say whether do you want to have that stream or not. Of course, with all this, there's slightly higher price, higher cost to it, and I believe that over time, as I've seen it, is that exclusive sellers over time is still the way to go, and one of the reasons is because if we do follow the entire end-to-end process of the breeding methodology and all that, you're bound to get higher results, higher returns in terms of the satisfaction of the stream that you have been bred out. I'm not saying that on the other side, the non-exclusive sellers, I think it's a mix of both. Some people migrated from the non-exclusive sellers to my exclusive sellers. So I'm the same as well. When I first started, I didn't wanted to spend so much in terms of because I didn't know what to expect, right? So I always wanted it to be low cost. I just didn't wanted to burn all my money trying to come into this hobby, and that's where the non-exclusive sellers are able to actually provide a price point for hobbies like those who have just started. But as time goes on, as knowledge, as more information is available, and more learnings are being developed, then I started to realize that I wanted more stability in terms of the quality. That means I don't want to have different quality every time when I get the streams, and I also wanted to have a specific way of breeding the streams like it is. And one of the reasons for going that route is that it is more stable in terms of the water parameters, because then we will follow the breeders water parameters. So for example, if they do 85 to 90 TDS at GH3 of 3 or 3 to 4, then if we do it right here, having the same type of water parameters, then essentially we are more or less the same, right, on the same playing field, where you can actually then enjoy the hobby a lot more. You don't even have to worry about, am I doing this correctly? So I think one of the questions that I always get I ask myself is that when I first started, is what do I expect if, let's say, if I do this, if I do that, what should I expect? So I think that this kind of got me thinking, and then that is the reason why I wanted to make this series of what to expect in terms of the stream hobby, and to share this information on how this stream actually move from one to the other. So on a high level note, I have already discussed and explained how your stream actually got into your tank from, let's say, from Taiwan. And if, let's say, you are in the US or you're in Europe, and you are trying to get some streams from Taiwan, there are of course other ways to do it, and I'm sure that with all this knowledge and this background information, you can then actually look at which one actually suits suits your needs, and then you can actually choose between, you know, exclusive sellers or non-exclusive sellers, or, you know, it's not cast in stone. And as you progress onto the hobby, I think you can, you know, always move from left to right, right to left, right, exclusive to non-exclusive or non-exclusive to exclusive. So there are always pros and cons to doing that. So with that information in mind, I hope you guys will have now a better understanding of how the streams actually move from the breeders to the sellers and then into your tank. So that will give you an idea on how the movement of the streams and how the streams are being bred, and why having, you know, the advantage and the disadvantage of exclusive breeders and non-exclusive breeders. So personally, I see a lot of, at this point of time, I see a lot of advantage in terms of exclusive sellers, and the reason is because, like I've mentioned, they follow a process and I follow their process, so that, you know, we don't have to think about am I right. So it's already a proven method. Of course, you know, the streams, they do live in a wide range of water parameters. However, if the streams that comes from their tank into your tank with the same water parameters, then essentially, you know, they are just being transferred from one tank to the other tank. So that's kind of like eliminates the idea of, you know, when it comes to you don't really need to pay so much attention in terms of acclimatizing the streams. Of course, you still need to float your tank, your bag, you know, have that water the same, but more or less you will understand that, you know, the water that they are living in the breeder's tank, in the seller's tank, and now in your tank will all be the same. So with that, it really eliminates any, you know, possibilities that, you know, the water parameters are not right. So of course, you will have to be very disciplined in terms of, you know, trying to get that water parameters as close or the same as the breeders. So that's all for this episode on what to expect regarding the stream industry. I hope you guys like it, and for those who are new to this hobby, I hope this information will actually give you some idea on what to expect in terms of your streams, and how and why some of the batches that you get is different from the other batches, even if you buy it from the same source, same store in your area, right? So then that gives you an idea, you know, whether it is an exclusive or a non-exclusive seller. Of course, you know, there is always some deviation at some time. However, the probability of a deviation from exclusive sellers is very, very, very low. I personally have not encountered it. The number of batches that I've seen is always very stable. It's always, you know, having the same type of quality, and then you will actually, you know, enjoy the hobby a lot more. So thank you guys, and remember to subscribe to my channel, and have a comments below, and thank you very much for watching, and peace out.